morning, bonjour à tous. Are you ready to make some waves today? So I am Florian Virmier, CEO of TechNL. For those of you who were not here yesterday, very excited to have you all here today for day 2 of Innovation Week 2023. Yesterday we had an incredible half day of sessions, including a great session, an eye-opening session with Rami Nassar on artificial intelligence, an informative panel on raising capital, the inspiring John Hill, where we talk a lot about networking and using LinkedIn as our lunch-on speakers, and we launch our new awareness campaign for the tech sector. So yes, TechNL is making waves in Newfoundland and Labrador. So today, I promise to be just as engaging with our speaker, Sedef Kocak. Very excited to have you today, and 4 concurrent breakout sessions. I think the main challenge will be to pick the right one. So I hope you already made your choice. You can check them out on the agenda on our website for more information. There's a QR code around the room which will direct you to the online agenda. This afternoon, we have the post-secondary student networking event. I'm super excited. We have about 250 students registered, 20 companies. So that's super exciting. It really shows the interest of students for the tech sector. I'm very excited. The session starts with an informative presentation by folks from Avalon Holographic, Carnegie Learning, and PolyUnity, and is followed by a networking event with those 20 TechNL member companies, those 20 TechNL members companies and organizations in the tech sector. As a bonus, if you have your Innovation Week name tag, you can pop by the Innovation Center on Survey Roads today between 5 and 6 to take a little peek at the construction progress. I know many of you are curious about it, so I'm very excited to share that. Jerry Carew is here again from Gale Force Wins. I don't know if you checked your social media, but like my social media were flooded. There were only TechNL and Gale Force Wins, and very excited to see any comments. And so please continue to comment because it's very exciting what's happening here today. He will be here again, and he will be doing more video interviews. And we would love to meet many of you to do many interviews as he can. I think yesterday was 15 videos in a day. I don't know how they did that, but very impressive. If you are taking pictures and sharing them on social media, we'd love if you will share your pictures and thoughts through Innovation Week. It's also a way to promote the tech sector to a larger audience outside the province, but also youth. So please do that. That's part of what we try to do for the conference. And you can use the hashtag IWNL23. You can also drop by the code check to get your t-shirt. I got mine. I hope you did too. And your water bottle and bag too. So thank you to our Innovation Week founders, ACOA, and the provincial departments of industry, energy, and technology. Thank you as well to our sponsors. I would like especially to thank our TechNL mission sponsor, Stuart McKilvey, and Platinum sponsor, Keene College. Other Innovation Week sponsors include EPRINL, Skills for Higher Atlantic Canada, Cox & Palmer, Hatch, Verafin, Virtual Marine, McInnes Cooper, World Energy GH2 Inc., Venor, FundMed, and Genesis. TechNL will not be able to do all of that work for the tech sector without the support of our sponsors. So let's give them a big hand. We have a video to play from our mission sponsor, Stuart McKilvey, after which Tona Staniland will join us to bring greetings.
You know what changes? Everything. Times change. Technology changes. People change. Sometimes it seems overnight. You can resist it. You can adapt to it. But you can't deny it. Our thinking is to lead it by changing the way we look, changing the way expectations are met, leading clients and the practice of law forward. You know what that changes? Everything.
Good morning, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Tona Staniland, and I'm the managing partner of the St. John's office of Stuart McKelvey. Stuart McKelvey was very pleased to sign on as mission partner of TechNL again this year. We did so because we believe in the tech sector and we believe in the vibrancy that it brings to our community. The mission partnership continues to align with our shared values and commitment to innovation, to growth of entrepreneurship in the region, and to diversity and inclusion in both the sector and our community. Just like TechNL, Stuart McKelvey is focused on innovation, and we see this as vital to attracting and retaining the best and the brightest, both Newfoundlanders and Labradorians who want to stay, but also those from away who we hope come and stay with us. We believe in the development of the tech and innovation sectors as very important to our growth, to the growth of our community, and to our focus on retention. In closing, we're very pleased to be part of Innovation Week, and we're pleased to bring our legal services, considered to be amongst the best in Canada, to the tech sector in this province. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Tana, and to Stuart McKelvey again for your ongoing support to the tech sector and as a TechNL mission sponsor. My name is David Gibbs. I'm a technology risk partner here in St. John's at KPMG, and more importantly, I'm a member of TechNL's board of directors. I'm also very pleased this morning to be able to introduce you to today's keynote speaker, Sedef Kocak. I'm going to read a little bit, and yesterday John Hill talked about building your network. When I read through this, I can think of no one better who needs to be in your network after today than Sedef. All right. So Sedef is a director of professional development at Vector Institute. She leads a suite of programs aimed at building workforce capacity in artificial intelligence and integrating advanced technologies into current and future work streams. Prior to this role, Sedef was a senior project manager and technical translator at Vector, where she engaged industry partners on applied AI projects. Sedef was named in the top 25 women in AI Canada edition, nominated for the DMZ Woman of the Year Annual Award in 2022, and a finalist for Women in AI in North America 2023 for her inspirational work, accomplishments, and contributions to create impact on the Canadian tech sector. Sedef completed her PhD at the Data Science Lab at Toronto Metropolitan University, where she is an accomplished researcher in the area of sustainability design and software-intensive systems, and a part-time data science and analytics lecturer and supervisor. Sedef serves as a member of the Compute Ontario Board Advisory Committee and AI Program Development Advisor at the University of Toronto School of Continuing Studies. She's a member of the Association for Machinery, IEEE, Engineers for a Sustainable World, Women in AI, AI for Good, and academic advisory committees for several AI-related initiatives. Wow. Looking forward to the talk this morning. And so, Sedef, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, David, for a very kind introduction. Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are we doing today? This morning? Good? All right, perfect. So, it's my great pleasure to be here today with you this morning. And we're going to talk about some AI project that me and my colleagues, we have done past several years. And then I would like to share some of the stories, some of the lessons learned, and best practices for you. I hope that you can take those and then apply to your project. So in today's digital era, the term artificial intelligence is often wrapped in layers in complexity and futuristic lure. But beyond the buzzword, it lies a real challenge. How do we bridge the gap between the advanced AI theories and tangible, everyday applications that transform industry from the experience and ultimately make a difference? So today I will take you to a ride to show some ways we can actively translate the advances of AI into actionable, impactful practices. So let's buckle up. I'm not going to talk about myself because David already introduced me, but the last thing that I would like to add is I am also a mother of 18-year-old daughter who studies medical sciences. But not least, I am now an honorary Newfoundlander. All right, so here is my agenda today. So first I will take you to Vector Institute for those who don't know what the Institute does. And then I will introduce Vector Institute's programs and few collaboration project examples. Then I'm going to talk about AI and sustainability, how we can leverage AI technologies to combat the climate change and contribute to environmental sustainability. And then I'll give you a few examples of the related projects. Then I will go through some of the lessons learned and key takeaways from the experience that we have. And finally, I will open the floor for some questions. All right, so let me start by asking you a question. What comes to your mind when you think of Canada? Our diversity? Maybe maple syrup? Or maybe hockey? Maple leaf? Considering last year's successful games, right? So what about technology, business, and climate change? Free flow of ideas, all of which have led some of the world's greatest inventions, such as telephone. Although the telephone was patented in America, but actually the invention happened in Canada. What about insulin? Maybe you think of Canada as rich. Oops. Right, what's happening here? No? Okay, there you go. Perfect. So maybe you think of Canada's rich history of innovation and entrepreneurship. Or perhaps you think of unique Canadian AI ecosystem and being the first country in the world that established national AI strategy in 2017. But regardless of what comes to your mind, I think we can all agree one thing. Canadian businesses have tremendous opportunity to create a future that is inclusive, ethical, and sustainable using artificial intelligence. So let me talk about a little bit of Vector Institute. The Institute was founded in 2017 as a part of Pan-Canadian AI strategy to lead Canada in the global AI revolution. Vector is an independent, non-for-profit research institute with the aim is to advancing machine learning, especially deep learning. Vector has created a national network of more than 700 researchers covering all disciplines of AI. And we forged partnership with 30 large corporations in technology, life sciences, finance, consulting, manufacturing, mobility, telecommunication, and retail. And with more than 200 startups and scale-ups. And we have catalyzed the growth of world-renowned AI talent pool, numbering over 1,400 applied master's students across Ontario. We have partners from many different industries I just mentioned. Each has unique business challenges. For example, manufacturing has a huge supply chain disruption, whereas the Finance Institute has cyber attacks, continuing with regulatory challenges around adoption of new technologies. What about healthcare? Healthcare has been dealing with the burden of clinicians and frontline workers. Knowing their unique challenges, our program of the collaboration project are designed using real-life use cases to promote AI tools, point solutions, as well as recommend system solutions. We have province and federal government partners supporting us, and we collaborate with health institutions to foster AI implementation in healthcare, and academic institutions to educate world's best-class talent in AI. We also have huge startup and scale-up ecosystem, and I'm going to talk about a little bit later. We work with our industry partners to make sure that they have the latest AI technology, using those technology for their business problems. Our goal is to provide our partners with competitive advantage by the adoption of commercialization of advanced AI technologies. And our team of technology, talent professionals, and AI engineers work closely with each of our partners to apply the latest AI methods and find the right talent to address their business priorities. Our model is delivering the transformational potential to AI leading global company across different industries. So when you go back to why are we talking about AI? AI is a multidisciplinary field of science and engineering whose goal is to create intelligent machines. AI is now a force multiplier on technological progress in our increasingly digital-driven world. This is because everything around us today, ranging from culture to customer product, is product of intelligence. Let me give you some numbers related to AI adoption in business. I'm an engineer, so I'd like to talk about some numbers. From 2023 Stanford AI Index report, the proportion of the companies adopting AI in 2022 has more than doubled since 2017. This means that industries are actually getting lots of value using those technologies. This means that the organizations have adopted AI. Some of them report that cost decrease and revenue increase. On the cost side, the functions such as supply chain management, service operations, strategy. On the revenue side, the functions were marketing and sales, product and service deployment, and strategy and corporate finance. From the same report, it states that the text-to-code AI use of Copilot, some of you may be familiar with the Copilot, find 88%, what's happening here, of survey responded that they feel more productive using this kind of technologies. And 74% feel that they're able to focus on more satisfying work, feel that they're able to complete their task more quickly. This is amazing. The most adopted AI use case in 2022 was service corporation optimization, followed by creation of a new AI product, customer segmentation, customer service analytics, and new AI-based enhancement of product. So these figures, the one on your left side, is confirmed that the increase of AI adoption of technology is increasing computer usage. So AI is no longer mere concept. It's actually reshaping our lives. Let's dive into some of the standout trends that defines AI today. The first and foremost is foundation models. When we talk about foundation models, think of them as a backbone of modern AI systems. They fit primarily under the deep learning, which is based on neural networks. These are large-scale models trained on vast amount of data, which can be fine-tuned for specific tasks, such as content generation, language translation, or text summarization. They are centered around processing and generating human-like text and images when we see generative AI. Behavior of the system based on foundation model is implicitly induced rather than explicitly constructed. This also means that the foundation models are hard to understand and have unexpected failure modes, such as hallucinations. The second area is AI in health science. Perhaps one of the most impactful areas, AI in influencing health and science. AI-driven diagnostic tools are offering more accurate and rapid results now, and identifying tumor, for example, in radiology images, or predicting patient deterioration. In the science research, AI is accelerating drug discovery and providing insight into complex biological phenomena. Especially during the times like COVID-19 pandemic, AI has proven to be an invaluable ally assisting researchers in understanding the virus and responds faster than the traditional methods. And then scientific models used in biology, where there are models for predicting how proteins fold into 3D shape, for example, AlphaFold. And then the last portion is AI governance and trustworthy AI. With the great power comes great responsibilities. As AI permeates more aspects of our lives, there is an increasing emphasis on creating policies that ensure that the responsible and ethical use of these technologies. The governments and organizations worldwide are focusing on creating guidelines that strike the balance between harnessing the power of AI and safeguarding against the risk of those technologies. So topics like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and AI in warfare are the forefront of the policy discussions, emphasizing the need for well-defined framework that can guide AI innovation into society. Some of you may be less familiar with the Vector Institute's research, but they have truly laid the ground for today's foundation models. Vector researchers have deep expertise with generative models of images and voices. As an example, David Fleet is one of our faculty members, and he built this model. It's called Imagine. Imagine is now within the Google's technology website, and he and his teams developed this model, and it's been using diffusion models. Diffusion models have become a new state-of-the-art in image generation. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the diffusion models. Let's talk about the diffusion model in a simple way. Diffusion models are like the best filter that you can imagine in your photo editing app, but 100 times more complex and fascinating. So diffusion models, let's take a glass of water and you put a drop of food coloring. What happens? The color slowly spreads and diffuses within the water and evenly spread out throughout the water. Right? This is how we call diffusion happens. So similar to that, these models have a lot of filters, but those filters take the image once at a time and diffuses into the image and then create a new image. Their generative models are also quickly moved from 2D to 3D. And one of the Vector faculty members, Sanya Fiedler, is a leading expert on 3D content creation. This content creation in 3D opening up a new venues of various creativity activities, such as movie and game design, to design on educational content, for example, like medical sciences or biology. And then I would like to talk about Vector's 3 pillars here. So our industry innovation team, we have technical transfer programs, and we have 3 pillars. The first one is a technology. In technology, where we prioritize advancement in the domain, ensuring that the businesses have access to the latest tool and methodologies. And we have our unique collaboration, which is called Applied AI Project. And then we provide expert-guided development of advanced AI tools and strategies. And I will give a couple of examples for those projects. And the second one is talent, where we invest heavily in attracting and retaining top-tier AI talent and provide direct access to those talents via Digital Talent Hub. And then the third pillar is training, where AI literacy is crucial, not only upskilling for those who have already machine learning or AI knowledge, but also new entrant professionals need necessary skills to work with AI. With our programs, we are strengthening knowledge of AI and its relevance and potential to industry-specific content. So these are some of the areas that our partners are currently focusing on. First one is customer support. Some techniques, such as recommender system, recent advances in large language models have been utilized. And moreover, prompt engineering and causal inference are promising techniques in this area. Causal inference is about understanding the cause and effect relationship between variables. In the context of customer support, this can be invaluable for identifying what factors or actions directly lie into the customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction. For example, looking at the causal relationship between the chatbot system and increased customer complaints. As a result, the company might consider re-evaluating their chatbot effectiveness, or refining their algorithm, or offering additional training to customers on how to use it effectively. Another area is accelerating operations using forecasting or robotic process automation or reinforcement learning. And then the last one is sustainability. So we know that all the corporates have their ESG targets as well as AI for Good initiatives. By recognizing this, we have been working with our partners in various projects related to ESG and climate change. Now let's go over some of the examples. This examples from our computer vision project. So this project was completed about 1.5 years ago with 6 different use cases. Those use cases from manufacturing, surgery, traffic, satellite, and unlabeled data recognition. 8 different industry sponsors work in these use cases. So this particular one is from Thales. The problem was how they can accurately detect road obstacles for their autonomous train program. This allows them to advance their development to driver assistance system to fully automated vehicles. Why this is important? Because in fully autonomous vehicles requires exceptionally low object detection failure rate in order to meet safety clarification standards. In the project, many computer science experts experimented different techniques such as segmentation using neural networks. In this particular use case, we compared with well-known model called UNet with the other neural networks. The results were pretty impressive, and we achieved better results using fully convolutional neural network. Of course, there are some limitations. For example, lack of real-time detection capacity of fully convolutional neural networks and absence of labeled data examples. Now, utilizing maybe generative AI or generative machine learning, synthetic examples can be generated. How many of you have lingering symptoms after you have had COVID-19? All right, perfect. According to the Public Health Agency in Canada, more than half of those who have COVID-19 have reported at least one lingering symptoms after 3 months of infection. Can AI help expedite the discovery of answers for long COVID? A team includes Vector Institute Industry Innovation, our AI engineering team, and faculty members and researchers work with Roche Canada, Deloitte, and TELUS to explore this question. The goal was applying natural language processing techniques to social media posts. Those are Twitter, now it's X, and then the Reddit posts, and see if any pattern arises. This involved creation of machine learning pipeline and testing the capabilities of various NLP models on first-hand testimony from social media. The hope is that these patterns could reveal clues about when and how frequent those symptoms arise and where clusters of the condition occur. We can use this approach to give clinicians more insights to provide early signals that can help them plan their clinical studies and treatments. We have had found that top 3 most common occurring groups of symptoms and condition terms were systemic, such as fatigue, neuropsychiatric, such as anxiety and brain fog, and respiratory, such as shortness of breath. In addition to that, we also found novel symptoms and condition terms that hadn't been categorized in previous studies, such as infection or pain. Another find is that a pair of fatigue and headache was among the most co-occurring term within those other most occurring symptoms. Of course, there are lots of limitations of this study. extracting medical entities from social media is absolutely challenging task because the unstructured nature of the content, which is often noisy, informal, and very short. Another limitation is complexity of medical terms, sometimes result in maybe like misspelling. And we work with many medical doctors and medical experts to overcome this challenge. Another example is from our conversational AI project. Fortunate enough that this project was a great example how we foresee rise of large language models for content generation. We utilize large language models such as BERT, GPT, and DistilBERT to create neural agent assistants for industry POC implementations. Here are 3 examples that I'm going to share with you. For the CIBC side, they are looking at the banking customer service support. Their motivation was to support the bank continued focus on leveraging digital technologies to make clients' banking experience even better. And with the KPMG part, their motivation was to reduce the inefficiencies in providing accurate information to user queries in the legal domain. And then the last one is from PwC, and their motivation was to gain experience in creating end-to-end neural agent pipeline. What we have learned from this project is domain task-specific system works much better. What I mean by that is real-world conversational data sets are noisy and contain domain-specific concepts. And then results, domain-agnostic systems such as GPT or BERT, those are trained on large corpuses, they are not domain-specific. Another thing is finding a good performance evaluators. For example, some of the scores and F1 score, for example, along with expert manual evaluation help better inform model selection. Now I'd like to talk a bit about our Fast Lane program. This program is for small and medium-sized enterprises. The program is designed to support SMEs in Canada accelerate their AI commercialization in their businesses, either AI product development or using AI tools in their businesses. Vector packages an AI industry project, technical boot camps, and professional development courses together into the program specifically for companies with clear plans for AI, but limited resources to carry them out. For these companies, Fastlane provides a catalyst to help turn their AI use cases ideas into a reality. And we provide those programs, and then also a talent services, benchmarking tools from our open source libraries, and commercialization and IP support. If you are interested, please scan, and you're welcome to join this program. Now, let's review one Fastlane company's project. This company called Vahi. How many of you have worked with realtors, multiple ones, when buying or selling your place? Right? Pretty good. And when I first moved to Canada 12 years ago, I didn't have time to review which realtor has many experience or trustworthy, right? Just went to the first that I found from Google search, and then I worked with him. It turned out good. So, buying or selling house is very, very complex process and requires an experienced, trustworthy realtor to ease out your process and minimum economic strain on the buyer or seller. How to justify the qualification of the realtor? How to validate millions of listings, listing descriptions provided by the realtors as which one of the good or which one of the bad. So what kind of recommendation system framework should be used in such cases? So in this project, the need was accurately evaluate realtors' quality and looking at their trustworthiness. So Wahi attended to our recommender system project and developed realtor recommendation system they called RRS. After 6 months, the project completion, Wahi's launched their first realtor matching algorithm and earning the startup recognition as 2023's Best Real Estate Innovator at the Canadian Business Innovation Award. Wahi team mentioned that because they have a very small data science team, they lack of resources to dig into state-of-the-art research. So the idea of getting insight from the instructor, from the Vectors program, and mentors was very helpful when they were working within the project. It's pretty impressive. Now I would like to switch a gear a little bit and talk about AI and sustainability. So this topic is dear to my heart because I am a sustainability researcher in the past, so I'm a little bit doing now, but not too often. So now we all agree that climate change is a complex system. Obviously, if you throw the human into this mix, it gets more complicated. The question is whether the advanced technologies such as AI using massive amount of data can handle these complex systems. Can human and AI work together to solve wicked problems such as climate change? One example is by analyzing a diversity of large dynamic data sets, machines can recognize an event earlier and ultimately react faster to prevent damage. Let me give you a couple of examples from projects and fast-lane companies who contribute to combating the climate change. This is a project from Vector and TELUS telecommunication collaboration. And heating and cooling services are used in millions of buildings around the world. Aim is for this project to buildings that are safe and more sustainable and productive. How can we do that? This project was inspired by DeepMind and Google's system energy reduction using reinforcement learning in 2018. This use case was under TELUS's AI for Good program to align with its sustainability goal of reducing their energy intensity by 2030. This collaborative development uses model-based reinforcement learning, one of 3 basic machine learning systems, and fine-tune the heating, ventilation, and cooling system across network locations, allowing for energy-efficient temperature control. Reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning where models learn from its environment by interacting and receiving feedback such as desired behaviors, rewarding for the desired behaviors, and punishment for their negative behavior. Results from a pilot test showed almost 12% in reduction annual electricity consumption in small data center. So for this particular project, I would like to highlight a few things about the project. For example, because of the complexity of the different systems, such as whether actually a physical infrastructure or, like a different data center room, the project started with a very simple use case and iterated and expanded gradually. The second thing is understanding the importance of the data, working with subject matter experts. The data from TELUS includes sensor data from the data center room, also external data such as weather, including temperature, humidity, precipitation, and so on. And then the project team worked with the data engineers as well as weather experts to understand the data, really understand the data, and how to ingest the data into the system. Another important consideration is AI solution space and its characteristics and limitations, including technology maturity, business maturity, and company's value proposition. Another example is from Government of Alberta. As we know that the forest fires are becoming more frequent as a consequence of climate change, all of which release yet more carbon dioxide. So far this year, we have seen more than 28 million acres burn in Canada, blanketing smoke across the East Coast and creating unsafe air for millions of people. So machine learning can be utilized to monitor the health of the forest and peatlands, predict the risk of fire, and develop precise monitoring tools and contribute to sustainable forestry. One example, as I mentioned, is here. You can see from Government of Alberta and AltaML collaboration. In recent wildfire in Alberta, Government of Alberta spent over $150 million in pre-suppressing costs to be prepared to respond to wildfire. The government began working with AltaML. AltaML is one of our fast-lane company, and they work with Microsoft AI for Good Lab to explore how machine learning can be used to allocate resources more effectively and ultimately contribute to the reduction of the deforestation. The team developed wildfire occurrence prediction system, and the system is used by duty officers to inform wildfire pre-suppressing resource planning. Here I'd like to highlight sustainability analysis of AI systems. When we think about sustainability, we usually focus on environmental sustainability. But there are actually 5 dimensions of the sustainability, which are social, economic, technical, individual, and environmental. The Sustainability Awareness Framework, which you can see on the screen, was developed by a group of researchers, including myself. It has applied on AI in general under the lens of 5 dimensions. To summarize, the main outcome of the sustainability analysis is AI can have a positive and negative impact on all 5 dimensions. We also need to consider 3-order effects. Those are immediate effect, systemic effect, and rebound effect. The rebound effect is when the savings from using more efficient technologies are spent on other goods or services that also consume resources, such as training large language models will end up using more energy and resources while we use them for social good. So we need to think about AI as a tool, and as such, it can be used for many things. And it's up to us, to developers, as well as the stakeholders involved to take sound of ethical decision based on the values and citizens for all the joint vision of a sustainable and resilient future. As I have given a few project examples, I'd like to talk about what we have learned from those projects. Some projects were technical in nature, some projects are thought leadership projects, where we bring together many business leaders and practitioners to discuss different topics. So first and foremost, what are the pillars that are foundation for managers and decision-making level for successful AI project? Let me check my time. Okay, so we have 4 pillars. The first one is to identify what value we want from AI technologies, such as supply chain optimization, sales forecasting, improved decision-making, personalized marketing, customer service improvements, and so on. Then to identify family of use cases to solve your problem. This is crucial for success of the AI project. How can we identify use cases? And I'll give you a simple checklist that we usually use when we work with our partners to solidify their use case for the collaborative project. After the increase of AI literacy, of course, the technical teams have most up-to-date literature, but we also have to increase the literacy of the other employees. And in production, be mindful that the data and its condition might change. So we need to ensure that we have enough expertise within the team. And then the last one is maintenance and oversight of deployed models. So monitoring the data drift, for example, or model drift is very important. So I'll get to that in the model governance. So a key challenge in successful generating value from AI revolves around identifying use cases that benefit from AI the most, which means that identifying AI solvable use cases. These are some of the questions that we focus on during our project. For example, what criteria do you use to identify AI solvable use cases? How do you identify use cases that should be tackled first? How do you prioritize those ones? So those are some of the questions you need to ask to start with. And then, as I mentioned, I'm going to give you a simple checklist how to identify AI use cases. The first one is understand the need of end users and evaluate the technical capabilities and limitations of AI. Identify the problem space and challenges of applying AI technologies to the use case. And you need to ensure that AI solutions add significant business value to any prior simpler solutions. So checklist is continuous. So start with a simple solution. You don't need to go, or you don't need to start with a complex one. First, you need to start with a simple solution, and you need to iterate gradually until the product becomes useful before adding complexities. And also, you need to find a right balance between technical development and market validation. And you need to also prioritize focus based on the unique circumstances of the company, because every company are different and they have different priorities, different values. Another consideration is ensuring that you have a technical talent as well as working with domain experts. So we've seen in the TELUS example, we work with weather expert, we work with energy expert, we work with like a different subject matter experts. And also I showed you on the NLP project where we work with the long COVID one. We work with the medical doctors. We work with clinicians in order to understand the medical domain, in order to understand those concepts. So you need to have the right skills to secure the right talent. So you need to work with your HR. The HR needs to understand what kind of talent that you have and what kind of talent that you need. And then, of course, another one is choosing the right process and tools. This is very, very exhaustive list, and it keeps growing every day. Now considering the generative machine learning tools and techniques on the top of this. So how we can choose the right process and tools. So at Vector, we work with our experts and AI engineering team. They are most up-to-date in terms of open source tools and models, and with reference implementations, we ensure that we suggest the most commonly used and successful ones for the project. Another one is governance. So the proper governance is a crucial component of any successful project. But what makes governance for AI different is that the standard governance framework, can we use those standard governance framework, or do we need to create a new one, or we can modify the one that we have? Creating something scratch will be time consuming. So what we suggest is to take your governance model and then you can add some modifications. For example, monitoring the data. Monitoring the data is very important because you might have experience with the data drift, or monitoring the model when the model is degrading. So those are the important points that you need to think about. Another one is process and control. So the important to understand that our journey isn't just about leveraging the sophisticated AI algorithms. We need to think about what kind of process we have and what kind of process that we need to bring using the new AI technologies. Just like any other critical business functions, AI project must have robust continuity plan in your company. This ensures that even in the unexpected circumstances, our AI-driven processes can recover swiftly and continue to deliver value to your company. So last but not least, we need to think about AI as a team support. You also need the right skills to secure the right talent, as I mentioned. You have to work with your HR. If possible, ensure that your hiring personnel have the necessary skill set to evaluate your candidates. And one suggested approach would be competency-based hiring, for example. To build the right team for your AI project, it is important to know the different roles involved within the AI project in more detail. As you can see on the slide, we have identified several key roles that are essential for building the right team for your company. In conclusion, the recognizing AI as a team support can lead more successful project, better problem solving, risk mitigation, and improved communication and continuous learning. So now I'd like to share with you the Vector Institute's trust and safety principles. So we recently released 6 fundamental AI trust and safety principles for organizations that reflect our ongoing dialogue, shared beliefs and values, and best practices of the businesses. These trust and safety principles were born out of ongoing conversation between members of our community and broader Ontario and Canadian AI ecosystem. They are very well aligned with OECD's EDGE principles: explainability, data, governance, and ethics principles. They are also incorporated feedback from discussion from our Vector's Managing AI Risk project. Internally, these principles will guide us as we update our code of conduct, which will continue to shape Vector's research, practice, and programs that I mentioned earlier. And then the Vector commits to continuing by holding consultations to evolve our AI safety and AI trust and safety principles, as well as through the continuing education, professional development, and our collaborative project. So if you'd like to learn more, please go into our website and learn about these principles and how those principles can leverage to a real life. All right, so let's wrap this up. I wanted to highlight a few key considerations for integrating AI into any organization. AI, its core, traditional IT focuses on using technology to store, retrieve, transmit, and manipulate the data. And its infrastructure is predictable and largely deterministic. But when we come to the AI, it is about making machines think and learn, unlike traditional IT. So we need to think AI project different than the IT project because their complexity are much more different. And then the second thing is AI requires more than technical skills. As I mentioned before, you need to have a subject matter expert in your team. You also need to have a data architects, machine learning engineers, data scientists. You need to work with those within your team. If you don't have those kind of resources, then you have to collaborate with the other companies. And then the third consideration is build incrementally. Start with a small solution, start with simple solutions, not go with the complex one. And then as you progress, and you can add the complexity, you can increase the complexity, you can use the state-of-the-art models. And then the fourth one is you have to look at your company's goal. How you can leverage these kind of technologies. What will be your goal? Not all the problems can be solved by AI technologies. And you need to look at those, like start with the problem definition, start with the use case. And then the last but not least, as I told you already, AI is team support. You need to work with different teams. You need to collaborate. You need to collaborate with academic institutions. You need to collaborate with other organizations, such as Vector. So before we wrap up, I want to delve deeper into the point that's close to my heart. And again, AI is team support. If you have this mind, and I use the EDGE principles, explainability, data, governance, and ethics, then you need to work with other companies, and then the other companies can learn from your experience. All right, so before I wrap up, I always give like a couple of book examples. So those two books are my recent favorite books, and they're for your book club. So the first one is Saving Us. This is from Catherine Hayhoe. So she's a climate scientist. She's actually a Canadian climate scientist. And in her book, she changes the debate on how we can save our future optimistically, how we can start a conversation, how we talk with our parents, how we talk with our kids, how we talk with the companies, how we talk with the businesses. We need to talk about it. Otherwise, we won't be able to work together. And then the second book is from the three professors from Rotman School of Business at University of Toronto. Co-author Avi Goldfarb actually is one of our Vector's faculty affiliate. So in this book, Power and Prediction, they look at the new developments in AI and the past history, how technologies have disrupted the industries. Then they examine the most basic unit of analysis, the decision, and then they're talking about the point solutions as well as the bigger system solutions. So my last slide is about introducing you to two initiatives. The first one is Climate Change AI. So they are an international non-for-profit organization, and they have networking, they have like a lot of information and resources and events. If you'd like to learn more, you can contact with them. And then the second one is Karlskrona Manifesto of Sustainability Design. So this is also an international research alliance where I work with them very closely. And then they delivered networks, also resources, they delivered workshop and industry use cases, how we can use software-intensive system, how we can use sustainability dimensions, how we can bring those dimensions into a real life, and then how they can help you. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone and thank to TechNL team for their invitation. And I hope you enjoy my talk, and happy to connect via LinkedIn or happy to answer questions you might have. I'm not sure if you have any time, but maybe 5 minutes or so.